Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Racers Driving League for Season 14, round number 21. It's the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix here from the Yas Marina circuit, and I am joined once again for the second time this season by Touch Pep. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, mate. Thank you very much for having me back in here. The seat's still warm and very excited to see how this Grand Prix will unfold.
Definitely, it should be very, very entertaining indeed. We've got almost a full grid tonight. As of right now, 19 cars, but Lana will be joining mid-qualifying, so we'll get a full grid in for tonight's race. The big story, the championship, for the first time this season, can be decided today. Grumio leads by 54 points right now over Che Oliver, who's back this week, because he's taken a few weeks out, but he's making his return to the league here tonight. But he could lose out this time around if Che does not score and Grumio wins this race. Then he's the champion.
Yeah, big task there for Grumio. However, in Ariel, anything can happen. Che not racing for a few weeks, might be a little rusty, so you never know.
It could go anyone's way at this point. Of course, a victory for Che will pull him within 2 race victories of Grumio, pull the gap down to at minimum 47 points. So that gap could close if something goes wrong with Grumio tonight. But he's been good in Abu Dhabi in recent seasons, so we'll see just how he gets on. Right, in terms of that first quali lap, well, can we get to PJ Khaled, Pope, and can you take us on a lap of the Yas Marina circuit?
PJ Khaled, yes I can. So with PJ's going through the final corner now, obviously a few edits to this Abu Dhabi circuit from 2021. You're blazing now full throttle into turn 1. You use all the curb on the right, hit the turn 1 apex beautifully there. You want to use as much of the track on the outside as you can. And here we go, turn 4. Crazy corner there. That right-hander is a bit of a nightmare to get right. Drivers already complaining about it through practice. Into turn 5, the heavy braking zone changed from the 2021 season to allow better overtaking, and you're going full throttle using your DRS now on this back straight. One of 2 here in Yas Marina. We're staying on the right, once again using all the curb. That's how you get the most out of your lap time here around the circuit. The chicane also providing good overtakes, as we saw Lewis Hamilton expose that. DRS open again here for the second back straight here, and then turn 9, which is now a sweeping left-hander. PJ hits it lovely there by using the curb on the outside. A bit wide on the exit, not the best exit there, however still keeping throttle to max he can. Through this technical sector now, car becomes uneasy, tyres are warming up, and the back end just wants to slide through here. We've seen that with Nicholas Latifi, I'm sure we all remember. Into the new turn 15, which is opened up to become flatter, and turn 16 is the final corner here.
First lap complete then, PJ Khaled with 1 minute 24.015. Thank you, Pope, for taking us around there. We missed it during the lap. Lycon crashing at the exit of the third to last corner there, so out of the session already, unfortunately. We're down to just 18 cars as it stands in this qualifying session, so unfortunate for the Haas driver. Of course, runs 10th in the Drivers' Championship, just 1 point behind PJ Khaled. So those two will be going at it, hammer and tong, to get in front for that 9th spot. And the next car in front of them, quite a few points to clear Ethan, as Ethan goes faster, then Che goes fastest here. First lap back, 123.3, put himself 5 tenths clear of Ethan, as Ericsson goes third in the Haas. Behind him, the McLaren, it's Fan on the medium tyres, starting his first out lap, doing what he always does on those medium tyres.
Yeah, donkey lap there by Che. And then I say that, Lemons are just going to beat it, yeah, by a 10th. I mean, I think our pole time here is probably going to be around the 122.8, 122.7. I think that's probably expected gap, expected lap time, sorry, should I say. But Lemons gapping Che by just over 1/10 of a second.
And we'll see what Grumio does. So the championship leader coming through sector number 3 now. It's just behind him, yellow flag, one of the Alpines going slow. Other than letting him through here at the front. Into the last couple of corners, we'll see just what the Aston Martin driver has in store out of the last turn. It looks like maybe 1 minute 22 here. It's going to be close. Oh, second place for Grumio. Doesn't set pole position just yet. Lemons then on pole for the time being. And Che down in third. Not too bad a start. These guys very close together as of right now. Separated by just over a 10th. So it's all still to play for these top 3. And I dare say could anyone come through and join them. Oh, around goes Mr. TJ right across the path of, I think that was Prolol in the AlphaTauri. Yes, it was. He's making his way out of the pit lane. So that could have been very, very scary. Here comes Fan to the last corner, a couple of corners here. We'll see just what he can pull off on those mediums. Not expecting much from this first lap. He's kept it valid. He's kept it nice and clean. And BJ is teaming with the next car behind him. We'll see how the McLarens do. Of course, they need to outscore Aston Martin tonight, stand any chance of still win the Constructors' Championship. Fan over the line, puts himself P7, 1 minute 24.4. And BJ at the last 10 on soft tyres. See where he comes out. He comes out P7, only just in front. So not good for the Aston Martin so far, Pope.
The McLarens. Yeah, the McLarens struggling. After last weekend, I mean, BJ leading the race for the majority of it to come on P3 and Fan crashing out. Didn't really help them that much in the Constructors' battle. And then look at these lap times compared to Grubio and soon to be Landlord whenever he gets it could be quite a struggle this race. However, it will provide us some great overtaking.
Yellow flag sector 3. That is Curtis who spun it there.
Curtis.
Oh, that was very, very close to being big for Grumio, and he is holding up everyone, including his own teammate there. On TJ, lucky he's invalidated here, but if he'd been on a time lap that was valid, then I dare say he'd be very, very frustrated with his teammate. I believe Grumio has finished his run. He's coming into the pit lane, and I'm not sure who else came through just then. I think TJ spun himself there going into the pit lane, so not good for the Alpine so far. 1 at 43 for Curtis, best effort. Snipe Hunter goes into 8th place, 1 minute 24.3, so just about in front of the Alpine car.
Yeah, the Alpines struggling there. Both of them spinning on their first laps here. I'd be quite worried, to be honest, if I was them now. Like, if you're not getting that in tune in the car, obviously I know you're pushing 110% here in qualifying, but you want to feel confident. We've just seen JB run a little wide, still keeping it valid, but that definitely won't help him on his first qualifying run of the session.
Not at all. We'll see how he continues to get on over the remainder. Still a bit of time to go, so anyone could get the upper hand here. Still 10 minutes on the clock. I still get to see the arrival of Landon and the Aston Martin. The other Aston Martin to come into the session. Prolol, it's 53.2 in the second sector. The AlphaTauri, of course, had the very near miss a few moments ago with TJ when he's coming in, making his way out of the pits. So we'll see what the AlphaTauri has in store here.
Yeah, this sector, final sector, is one of my favourites on the entire calendar. I love how technical it is, and I love how much car control you need to have. I think it's so fun, and Prolol looks to nail that. Quick 15. Crazy change to make that so much faster, and lovely hitting the apex there. Using all the curb on the outside. Where's it going to put him? Going to put him P5.
That's a very good lap there.
Respectable there.
I've got to say, I do agree with you, Paul. I do love that third sector, or the new third sector in the Abu Dhabi circuit, because you do, when you nail it at top speed, it is very satisfying when you do, and it really sets you up for those last 2 corners on the circuit. PJ Khaled coming through here, still P7 as it stands, but coming through to start his next timed lap. So he comes off the final corner to start that next timed run, and we'll see who else out in the circuit. Alvar and the Williams, 17.5 was his first sector. Yet set a better lap time, but Williams now bottom of the Constructors' Championship, and now will be looking to chase down AlphaTauri, who of course have been bottom for a good majority of the season now, and perhaps have the chance to maybe take Alfa Romeo as well. So those three battling for the to not finish last in the Constructors this season.
Yeah, it's exciting times at the bottom. Everywhere's so competitive right now, especially when you're going through the final stretch of the season. It gives me a little bit of a buzz knowing that it's about to end and you have to give it your all for the final races.
Definitely. I mean, you've been in that situation before. How do you deal with the pressure of racing for positions, and in your case for a championship?
Yeah, season 11 especially, winning the title in one of the last few races was quite daunting. You just have to focus at 100% and just forget about what you're actually racing for. At the end of the day, you take one race at a time, and that's the way I do it. And just go with your normal preparation. Don't let it overwhelm you too much. Fair
enough. Wise words, if I do say so myself. Okay, in terms of qualifying, 8.5 minutes still to go. Yellow flag, 6-1 is one of the slow cars. Grumio on his way through to begin his next time lap. Oliver, after sector 1, was thrown to a second up on his previous effort. We'll see where he comes out at the end of sector number 2 here. Of course, as I said earlier, Che needs to, at minimum, score points to keep this title hunt alive as he goes a 10th up. And this could be looking like a potential lap to take away pole position if he can keep that 1/10 in this final sector. So here he comes now through the right-handers going into that hard braking zone. And see where he hits the apex very nice, avoids the apex post there, which is very good, through the third sector now. And he's nailed the bridge there completely as he comes towards the last 2 right-handers through 15 and 16. We'll see where he comes out in the order. Has he managed to hold on to that 1 extra tenth of speed? Over the line he goes, and he came close, but it wasn't quite enough. And Lemons clings on to pole position a bit longer, although he's not improving as of right now. He's about 700 of a second down in the second sector. We'll see where Grumio comes out. He's a 10th up into the first sector.
Yeah, that was a crazy amount of speed that Che was keeping. That car was so planted. Lemons coming across the line now, not even improving on his time. So still close between them two, and then every eyes are on Grumio, who has just gone 2.5 tenths up at the end of the second sector. Wow, this could be an incredible lap time.
I dare say we're looking at 1 minute 22 here, Pope. We'll see just where it comes out. Into the last sector he goes and looking to nail this final part of the lap. Keeps it within the track limits, nice and smooth. Yellow flag up in sector 2 at turn number 5. That's one of the Red Bulls spun out. And into the final corner now. Here comes Grumio looking to try and put it on pole. 1 minute 22 on the cards. Yes, it is. Wow. So by just over 3 tenths, Grumio, the championship leader, puts himself on pole position. And all of a sudden, Lemons and Che and the rest of the field have a lot of work to do here.
Yeah, I mean, as we saw riding on board there with Grumio, he sliced the car through that final sector. These cars are a lot different to the predecessors. You have to make sure you're just on the edge of traction to get the most amount of speed. It almost drives like a go-kart. So Grumio's nailed it this entire season, and that was just showing off there.
Of course, he's been brilliant in qualifying throughout the season so far. Unable to caught in terms of most pole positions in that statistic. Here comes, around goes Fan! At the end, midway through the third sector, and almost gets hit by his teammate. Now, I was about to segue on to the fact that these two are helping each other out down the straight towards turn number 9. BJ gave Fan a very nice tow as BJ's on his end lap here. And Fan, I dare, may have scuffed a very good set of soft tyres coming through turn number 14 there. So he comes into the pit lane. He's got enough time to bottle in a set and go again, but I dare say he won't be too happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, especially around this track where the tyres just get ate up for fun, wasting a tyre set like that is not the best thing you want to do. Main thing I'm looking at now is from P14 onwards, no one has set a lap time yet. So we could see a lot of changes here in the last 5 minutes of qualifying.
I've just seen Landlord join as well, so we'll be able to have a full grid here. For first, good to see have all the full-time drivers.
TJ spinning around, about to complete a lap time.
Oh no!
Very healthy, but that was a crazy little spin there. Sorry for interrupting, but
that's all right.
And TJ's really struggling to get into the pit lane here.
Struggling to set a lap time too. So I covered on Huggy Bear in the Alfa Romeo, puts himself P12, 1 minute 27.2. I dare say he can definitely improve on that. Oh, and around he goes. Almost saved the car.
Yeah, people are really spinning out quite a lot here. I mean, we've just come from Mexico, so I think people are still in the spinny mood from that circuit. We had a major amount of spins. But honestly, like I was saying, this track is so hard to keep the car planted. So when you see, especially the top three, who are stretching away from the field, they are really showing how much car control they've got.
Definitely, of course. There's still a few cars close to that top 3. I'm looking at Alvar in 4th, Ethan currently 5th, and Prolo in 6th. Those guys, and we kick out Ericsson in there as well. Anyone who's within a second of the leaders right now, because those guys obviously are seriously strong over 1 lap. As of right now, the top 5 all within that 1 second range to Grumio's pole position time. Ethan's on his out lap here, so looking to set another time. I reckon he's got time for maybe perhaps 2 or 3 more laps. This will definitely be his last run without doubt. And my controller's been disconnected, so that's how long it's taken for that to happen. So that is fortunate, and it's going to keep on doing this. So I have to switch to the wheel for now. So make that change there, not a problem. So Ethan,
Alvar really doing well, I think, for Williams. I mean, as we were saying, they've just hit the bottom of the constructors for first time in quite a while this season. So coming up P4, Prolon not too far behind. I think we could see quite an aggressive battle between those two.
Definitely, of course. You think how much the end of the season really does suit Alvar. Some of these circuits, which he's had quite good results at in the last couple seasons. I think back to Brazil last year, I believe he took 2nd place in that race after penalties. So it was a very enjoyable race for him, and of course he'll look to continue that form on into the next couple of rounds. We near the end of the season, just try and get themselves back in front of AlphaTauri, but it could be hard given how things went for them in the last couple of rounds.
Definitely, Ethan on a lap here now, just on the first back straight there, DRS Open, hitting a speed of around 203 miles an hour. Top speed, but maybe that's what we're looking at here. Don't know if he's running a high downforce setup, but I mean, overtaking is quite hard, as we do know around this circuit, so just keep an eye out on that. But looking like a very tidy lap time, hit that chicane perfectly.
Very good stuff there. And we're looking here I'll keep my eye on several cars in the running order. The only one on a lap is Ethan. He's coming through the third sector. Let's see where this lap turns out. He's half a tenth up in the second sector. We'll see if he can improve on that. Perhaps put himself a bit closer to Alvar in P4. Can he put it on the second row? I have to wait and see. It comes to the last couple of corners towards the end of this flying lap. I'd say he's got time for perhaps one more good one. Off the corner he comes. It's P4 for him. He's in front by 6/1000th of a second.
Yeah, Alvarez will be pinging up to that and will be heading out the pit lane now, trying to beat that lap time. It's going to be close between, I think, probably 4th to 10th. I mean, we're hopefully going to see the McLarens as well improve their lap times, who I think probably got the most pace as well. A Sniper in my old Mercedes.
Both of them back out, all three of them now back out on the racetrack. Of course, Sniper, of course, picked up 8 points on his debut as a full-time driver in the last race. Pope, what do you think? I can't speak. What do you think he'll be capable of today?
I think definitely fighting for mid-points. I mean, strategy's crazy.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'll have to cut you off here. There's your old teammate, Che Oliver, who looks to have crashed going into, I think that's turn 12. I'm going to have to get a car closer to have a look at that. I believe that Ericsson's the post right now. And he's despawned before we've managed to get to him. But Che out.
Yeah. Oversteered crazily there. I can imagine. I can see the wheel on the inside, and he's probably just lost all the grip in the rears. Like I say, tyres heat up massively around the circuit. So it's down to Lemons and Grumio.
And Curtis out as well. He's corner today. And Landlord coming through the last couple of corners now to complete his first of what will be 2 flying laps in this qualifying session. Here comes to the last corner, the number 64 Aston Martin charging toward the line, looking to try and perhaps knock Oliver down a bit, and he won't. P6 for him. He's got work to do in this final lap. Alvar's gone wide there.
I don't think he'll have the ERS though, sadly, to complete another lap. So probably seeing Aston Martin charging up the field, and now my eyes are going straight to Lemons, who is exiting that final corner, ready to do his final lap of the session.
I see Grumio isn't too far behind him either. I'm waiting those 2 McLarens as well. BJ, way off the road there. I'm sure what's going on. Fan across the line. He's got one more chance to put himself higher up. Of course, qualifying hasn't been brilliant for the McLarens in the last couple of weeks, save for that qualifying from BJ in the last round. Because Fan struggled in qualifying at the start from the back and then still retired. The checker flag's now fallen, so wait to see who is next round. So Ericsson is invalidated, so it laps over for him. Prologue is the next car to come through. He's in the final sector as of right now. He's just got into it, and we'll see where he emerges. As of right now, P8, he nicked the podium last time out. Looking to try and continue that podium form to get himself higher up the championship with AlphaTauri, perhaps close up to his teammate JB, who's 11th in the championship right now. Dan has retired from the session, so he's corner today. And here comes out the last couple of corners. Prolol looking to come through and set a time that'll push up the order into the final turn and towards the line. Here is P6 for him. That's a brilliant lap. Landlord's invalidated. Things are over for him. Here comes Sniper Hunter in. The last couple of corners. He's the next one's come through, and around he goes at the penultimate corner. Spins off onto the grass going into turn 16. Here comes BJ towards the line here. We'll see just what he can pull off. He's P10 right now. We'll see what he can get over the line. It's still P10 for him. Found the last couple of corners now. We'll see what things look like for him. He's got Grumio right behind him, and Lando retiring. PJ Khaled also retiring from the session as well. Fan charging now towards the line. Where does he come out? He comes out P4, but Grumio looking to improve, and he will improve here by almost half a second over Lemons. Grumio on pole position once again here. Lemons will join the front row. Che then Fan on row 2. Ethan Alvar, Prolol Websy, Prolol Lando, sorry, Websy and PJ Khaled your top 10.
Yeah, the Alfa Romeo driver and PJ will be happy, especially after that torrid race there at Mexico. So being in P10 right now will be happy, but my prediction was a 122.7. I wasn't too far off with Grumio's lap time, but I've not seen a driver so dominant in qualifying in RDLs ever.
Neither right. That's one of the most dominant seasons I've seen. The fact that we still got Che keeping up with him in points is fantastic, but he could clinch the championship today. Grumio will lead them towards turn 1 with Lemons alongside him. It's Che and C1 10 P behind them in row 2. Ethan and Alvar 5th and 6th, and it's Prolol 7th. Landlord in 8th, only got 2 laps in the end. Websy 9th, and PJ Caliber round out your top 10. So that is the top half of the grid for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Full grid of full-time drivers for tonight. It should be a very entertaining one, so make sure to join us in a few minutes' time for Lights Out. Welcome back into the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, round number 21 of season 14 in the Races Driving League. And for the first time today, this season, the championship can be decided today. It's unlikely, but it could happen. I'm Zach RC. Joining me tonight, as he did so fantastically last week, is Touchy Pope. Pope, you had to give me a prediction for this race, mate. What are we thinking?
I think this race will involve safety car. We've not had one in a very long time. I just got that gut feeling today that we will have one. I think it will shake up the strategy for the drivers. Grumio looking fantastic after qualifying there. Qualifying around 4/10 ahead of Lemons in P2. I think it's his to lose, but as we saw last week, he was spinning quite a few times after a good qualifying, so I wouldn't say anything's ruled out yet, but it's looking at Grumio's way.
Definitely. I mean, he's the favourite going into this one. As I said, the championship can be claimed today. If he wins and Che fails to score, Che back this week. I'm hoping, my prediction will be that we actually get through the first lap and the camera stays as it's meant to, because last season when we did this race, the camera stayed on the front straight and just didn't move with the rest of the cars. So it stayed in its position but just moved facing where they were. It didn't work to come back round again. So that was a frustrating first lap. Let's hope this season there's less of that and more of actual action on the first lap. Right, here we go then. Seconds away from the start. And we'll take you through the starting tyres and see what this race has to offer.
Here we go then, the formation lap gets underway and the excitement here is building as we near ever closer to the start of the race. Which team will come out on top? Who's got their strategies right for today's race? Well, we'll soon find out.
There's your starting tyres then. Again, hards and mediums, the tyre of choice for all of the field. Top three all on hards.
All the cars take their positions on the grid. The teams will be hoping their strategies pay off for them in today's race. The question I'm asking is which teams have got it right? Which ones have got it horribly wrong?
So we come then onto the grid here in Abu Dhabi. It's Grumio who leads them. Lemons in second. He's had a fantastic qualifying rate so far this season. He's continued that on with second place here. Che on his return it's crucial for him that he either wins today or finishes a good few places clear of the Aston Martin who sits directly in front of him as the last two cars take their places on the grid, getting ready for the start of what should be a very entertaining race. Make sure to stick with us here so we can taking you through all the action of the next 29 laps of racing. 5 red lights waiting for them to come on. Here we go. Round number 21 of the championship. 4 more rounds to go this season as we leave the grid in Abu Dhabi. It's a decent go away from both cars here on the run towards that first corner, but I dare say Lemons has got away with it. There goes Fan looking to the inside at turn 1. Might try and swipe the lead in the McLaren. Looks like Grumio's got away quite brilliantly there as there goes Che looking around the outside to try and swipe Lemons. And the same thing's happening again as he did last season. And that's something I can't fix, unfortunately. I have to ride on board. Yellow flag. There's a huge incident on the opening lap there. And PJ Khaled already out. Several cars involved. That Sniper Hunter's been caught up in that. The virtual safety car has been deployed this early on. Well, Pope, your prediction was somewhat correct early on in this race. We've got a virtual safety car.
Yeah, that's the actual safety car coming out
Oh!
of the track, but they're pretty bad. It's almost like I was racing. Well, I have been racing for countless seasons here in RDL. But yeah, unlucky to PJ for crashing out. We hate to see that, especially on lap 1. He put so much effort in and a great qualifying as well, and sadly now we'll be finishing with no points. Also to see Sniper Hunter go down, looks like he's struggled in that opening start. Obviously hard tyres here, may have not been warming up for quite a few of the grid, and I feel like that's what's happened, and that's why the McLaren of Fan has got such a great start.
Yeah, I saw him try to go up the inside of the leaders at turn number 1. If he got away with that would have been absolutely brilliant for him to get into the lead that early on a day where McLaren, of course, need points. He goes around passing Che over there. Unsure as to how it's about, but I think he might have to let him back through. Yes, he will. So no issue there. Grumio will lead them round then to complete the first lap. We're able to get regular cameras back, hopefully, as they come to these last couple of corners. Oh, Grumio, I thought he was trying to fake into the pits there for a moment. Lemon's doing the same thing as they come to the last corner here to complete the first lap of this race. And we get our regular cameras back.
Do go into the pits though. Websy in the pits may have picked up a bit of damage, unless he's doing one of his bold strategy calls once again.
Potentially, I saw a Ferrari in the instant, not quite. It might have been Courtney Goblin, and it's the front wing change off. So, double stack for Ferrari. That of course won't lose too much that position. Sniper Hunter to the pit stand, joining them as well. In comes Courtney Goblin making that same change. And they're bringing on a front wing as well. Tyre change on the set of mediums, as is his teammate. Everyone got on mediums here who's coming to the pits. And there's your predicted pit stop strategy at the bottom of your screen there. We're looking most likely a one stop for the majority of these cars who started on the medium tyres onto a set hard to go to the end of the race, and it'll be the vice versa for the front three, any other hard tyre starters.
Yeah, quite a few of the people that are pitted onto the mediums have come off the hards, which is already counting out their one tyre use. They've now used both sets of tyres, which allows them to open up their strategy later on. And if they want to go back onto the same hards, they're only one lap old. It's quite a smart move there. So it may have worked out in favour of them, and if there's another safety car later on, they are in prime position to take full advantage of that. It's not over for them.
Definitely not. So a long way to go in this Grand Prix. The championship as it stands right now, Grumio will now lead things by 65 points over Che, which obviously is not enough to win the championship today. He'd need another 10 points as of right now. So he'd need, as it stands, I believe he'd need Che to be in 8th or lower to bring the gap to 75 and win the title. Although my maths could be completely wrong. And we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it today. I'll try and be a human calculator as time goes on. Wait, am I correct, or am I?
I'm pretty certain you are correct, but obviously 75 doesn't win the championship due to the fastest lap points.
That is true. So we're looking at 78, I believe, then, if that's true, or 79, depending on this race as well. So we'll see just how it comes out. So Grumio off the final corner then, as of right now, leading the way, and hopefully be able to get a restart this time. These guys catching back up.
This lap will be the end of the safety car. Always stays out 3 laps if people haven't caught up, but this is where if I was Grumio, not that he needs any of my advice, but when I was in this position, I'd be now starting to think of when do I start pushing the pack to get my tyres a little bit warmer and predicting when I'm going to set foot on the gas. I'm personal to a later restart and keeping the field bunched up quite a bit. Oh, we see Landlord get a 5-second time penalty.
It's for us a bit prologue, yeah.
Yeah, that's something that we don't like to see, but that will probably be taken to the stewards just to assess what was going on there. But not great for Landlord, who has dropped 1 place, if I'm correct. I'll
have a look at the position change. We'll have a general look at them, see what's going on. So Landlord's actually gained a place. The top 4 all consistent with their starting positions. Alvar's gained, Prolog's gained, and Landlord's gained. All of them the expensive Ethan, who's dropped 3. Jover's gained the most so far, as it stands, is a tie between JB and Lycon. Both those two start towards the end of the pack, and now they're pushing forward. And Jover is lost out the most in terms of Jover's doing the race. It's Websty's. The safety car comes in this lap. Websty's dropped 4 places. As you were saying about when is the right place for Grumio to go?
I think around this track, you want to try and do it probably turn 15. Want to catch everyone a bit off guard. We can see already this is what I'm assessing from track map and what Grumio's doing. He's letting the safety car run away a little bit here. He's keeping his speed a bit slow, letting the safety car run away, meaning he can get an earlier restart.
We'll see what he has in store, what he has lined up for those 2 cars behind him, who will no doubt be his biggest challenges over the course today. Over the last couple of corners here, coming through turn 14, good exit, trying to block off both cars as best he can, waving to get those tyres up to temperature. Safety car now into the pit lane, and Grumio getting away a little bit there. He's pulled about 6/10 already as they come to the last couple of corners. If Lenz can get a good exit, he's still got a chance. But back to racing here. Oliver, not the best of exits, fans all over him, going towards turn 1. Oh, a car loose in the back. That was Ericsson, who's now fallen out the train and down to P12. As they go towards turn 1, he's got Huggy Bear and Kurtz going side by side behind him. Looks like Huggy gets the advantage from that battle. And behind, it's a race for 3rd as it stands. Yellow flag, and that is for 2 Ferraris who may have had some kind of altercation. As Websty's gone around.
Yeah, Websby not having a great race. Drop positions before the restart. Had to pit and now he's at the back of the grid. He's going to be fuming in that cockpit. But like we said, there's still a long time to go, and you never know. We've already had 1 safety car, so it's more than likely there's going to be another one. Definitely.
We'll see how things go later on the Grand Prix. BJ up a place there. He managed to get around Ethan on the restart. So another place lost for the Red Bull driver as Grumio leads Lemons by 6.5 tenths. Che's another 7 tenths back, and fans still having 4th of the pressurising Che on the early restart. Landlord to the outside of Prolog now, looking for P7 as they're going towards turn. So they're going for P6 as they're going to turn 9. Side by side, Prolog gets the jump. Landlord might try and switch back on the exit if he can get close enough and look to the outside. Oh, he almost lost the car right there. That was very close, and it could have been a big altercation if Lando had lost the car. And Huggy Bear has fallen back several places here. No yellow flag, no incident there. Sniper Hunter battling. Lycon has come through turn number 13. Through turn 12, sorry. As they come through 13 and 14 now. And TJ passing Ethan. Poor start to this race of the Red Bull. He's almost fallen out the points completely.
Yeah, no, that's battle for P13 has been sensational. These cars just following perfectly and having some great battle. It's just a shame that Huggy went a bit wide through turn 9, allowing Sniper and Lycon to get on the inside, but an incredible move by them two.
Definitely, we'll have to see if they can get themselves up towards the points later on in the Grand Prix. Sniper will look to try and make a streak here of point scoring finishes. Lemons closing in here on Grumio and getting away from Che further back. As of right now, the championship gap, yep, still 65 points because Che's still sitting pretty in third place, but needs to get up to challenge these two leaders who he doesn't want to let pull away too quickly because DRS deployed next lap for the first time and they want to be in that 1 second range when they go.
Yeah, Che, very smart driver. I have full belief he knows what he's doing, but just looking like he's taking a little bit more time to heat up these hard tyres. But Lemon's really putting the pressure here now on Grumio.
And we'll see if that pressure can keep him reeled in for as long as possible. I see BJ and Lando going out for P7 as of right now. Looks like Lando has the edge on that occasion. Behind him, we've got JB who's managed to pass Ethan, the Red Bull driver, now out of the points completely. So a poor start to this race, but JB goes a bit wide on the exit, loses the car a little bit, a bit of a skid. So Ethan's going to go up the inside of 12, trying to take advantage. Yellow flag, that's Huggy Bear.
Oh, Huggy, no, it's such a shame for Huggy. And there's another safety car.
Second safety car here.
I've got it on me today. I'm predicting things like crazy, but are we going to see any drivers peel into the pits early here?
We'll see what the plan is.
Yes, we are.
Fan in, Alvar in. We'll see who else joins them. BJ's coming in. Double stack from McLaren here. TJ behind. JB is in. Ethan stays out. Lycon, Sniper, Curtis, Daniel, Cottney, Websy. Websy coming in. So Websy making another change here. So we've got 6 cars.
To see what tyres these guys go on. This is
like all hard
strategy
tyres.
Now. Yeah, hard tyres should be able to make it now to the end of the race if memory serves me. Will be a bit of a struggle. Like I say, tyres do fall off around the 45% mark here in Abu Dhabi at the Yas Marina circuit, especially with this new, more fast, aggressive layout. But I have full belief that BJ, who took the mediums, was it 26 laps at Mexico?
It took him an awfully long time.
I think he can do a similar amount on these harder tyres.
So he'd be in a good position if he can do that. And if we get a late safety car, make a switch onto soft. These guys are all obviously need to stop again. As of right now, we've got I count. We've got 8 cars yet to stop in this race. Both Alfa Romeos out of the race. That will not help their constructors' championship at all. And with Alvar was obviously high up in the order. He's down to P14 now. He's made that stop. And Dan running in P11. So those guys just sitting just outside the points could close in a bit more. And obviously Prolol up there in 4th for AlphaTauri. So that's more big points for the team from Faenza. So we'll see just how things go from the top 3. Have got away a little bit here. Not sure why, but they're catching up to the back of the safety car train. Top 3 remains unchanged. And I thought Lemon's going to come in for a second, but he's faked me, which is lovely to see. Off the last corner, these 3 come.
Me as well there.
Right.
No, I'm just looking at the fastest laps actually of Grumio and Lemons in particular. 127.3s and 177.4. I think that's something that is significant in terms of you compare that to Prolol, it's a second behind, and Che is 2 turns behind. That kind of shows you the gap. But Prolol not pitting, and I think it was Alvar and Fan who were in between him and Che, which has allowed him to catch up with P4. So be very happy with that.
Definitely, and we'll hopefully you can get some more points on the board for AlphaTauri and perhaps get them off the foot of the championship. They've been there for a long time this season. They are finally off the foot of the table, and we're hoping to stay away from it as best they can these last couple of rounds as the Mercedes safety car takes them down the backstretch towards turn number 6. That very tight left-hander as they make their way through.
Zach, I'm going to pose you a question.
Oh, a question.
Right. It's just coming to my head.
I hope I can answer it.
If you were racing here right now, what would your preferred strategy be, and would you pit under this safety car?
Honestly, I don't think I would, because knowing my ability in these games, I don't think I'd be able to take these ones that are hard tyres all the way to the end at this stage. If there was a safety car around lap 10 or 11, then I'd definitely pit onto a set of hards, but it depends what I'm starting on. in terms of I'm just trying to think back to what sort of strategy I employed in the last race of Road to GOAT last season. That's a tough one, if I'm being honest. And obviously, I don't possess the expertise that you guys do, having done league racing every week for a good couple of years. So, I mean, my league racing career is pretty torrid, if I'm being honest myself. But
at least your commentary's good.
yeah, at least I'm good at something in this league racing action. Right, very late call. The safety car's in. Grumio doesn't quite get the opportunity to catch back up. So where will he go this time? Looks like he's going to try and go off the last corner. He's backing everyone up quite nicely indeed, and he's not getting away as nicely. Lemon's still there with him off the last corner, and I thought he was getting loose, but he's trying to break the toe towards turn 1, sort of hope that these guys lose a bit more ground behind. We're back underway here on lap number 8, this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. 18 cars still in the running, one of them with a penalty, and Grumio pulls away once again.
Yes, Sniper fell away from Lycon there. His tyres clearly not heated up as much as possible. That's what the problem with a late safety car call in there. We aren't ready to go racing, our tyres are cold, but this is going to allow for some crazy racing on this restart.
Hopefully, of course, that preparation is crucial. You've got to be well prepared on the safety cars here. Lemon's not using his battery just yet, looking to try and close in though. He's closing in a little bit, but not enough to go for a move. Might he go for something into turn 9? He's going to look deep on the inside as you see Lycon doing the same thing, trying to get clean air in that race car. And here comes Curtis being challenged by Daniel on the inside, going towards turn 6. The Williams car gets in front on the exit out of 7, and good exit from Daniel Aaron, who will move up into the 9th position to put Williams back inside the points. And there's a yellow flag. That's Curtis around on the exit, going towards that back straight, and now he's down to the bottom of the order.
Got debris on that track, and there's a virtual safety car now out on track. Where that debris? I was saying before, we're not having a safety car in a while. I think this is the circuit that's going to make it up to us here, but everyone's battery's going to be recharging, so those who have pushed extra with their battery on that opening lap are going to be let off a little there, and any gains that they've made from this is paid off well for them.
Indeed. Have we actually had any DRS in this race? After 8 laps, I don't think actually we have.
I think the lap we were supposed to have it, the safety car came out, so I don't actually think we've had DRS once. Or maybe for 1 lap at maximum.
Yeah, I dare say this race will get a bit more insane when that does happen. That looks to be happening on lap number 10. So back to green flag racing. Curtis into the pit lane. So he did pick up damage on that Alpine. So we'll see how, just what he goes on to in terms of strategy. Front wing completely broken for that car. Medium tyres going on to the Alpine. A front wing change as expected, and he is away once they fit it. And here he goes. Chasing down the straight now. Lemons back up front, still about 3.5 tenths behind Grumio as they look towards turn 6. Once again moving to the inside, trying to maybe fake a move in some respect. Going through. Grumio not the best of runs there. Through turn number 6 out of 7. Looking to try and get away, and he will get away once again. And this could have been up the door for Chase try and close. He's using his battery a bit. Both cars behind the race leader using that battery on exit to try and close in.
Yeah, the top 10 pretty much are all so tightly congested. This is train racing at its finest. This is favouring those who pitted onto that second safety car here onto these hard tyres. These guys are rubbing their hands, and those in front might be wanting to start looking behind a little for when they make their pit stop.
Looking nervously over their shoulders as to when to make that first move into the last corners they come here. Grumio still leads the way as he has done for the whole of these opening 9 laps, and back over the start finish line to begin lap 10. We've got 20 laps to go in this one, and DRS, here we go, is enabled this lap. Right, this is where things get interesting for this top 3 in particular, because they'll be trying to close up to each other. Che will let's try and nick the lead if he can. He needs to close in enough in order to try and take it, because he needs points over our race leader and championship leader right now. But Lemons will be the main threat for the Aston Martins. They're going to turn number 5, looking at a potential move going into 6. He needs a good exit this time round as Lemons on the exit. Good stuff. Missing the curbs there. Going through. DRS now deployed. We'll see what he uses. Grumio now uses his battery in order to try and stay in front, but Lemons is coming with a great run here, looking towards the outside. He's going to breeze through past the Aston Martin, going into the braking zone, and Lemons now takes the lead, but Grumio might try on the inside. No chance. Lemons, now your second race leader of this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and Che will look to try and tackle Grumio on the exit, but Lemons got a bit too deep there on the exit, and now looking, but staying in front for now. Grumio not going to close enough to go for a move into turn 9.
Yeah, Grumio locking up the tyres there, incredible defending after that move was made by Lemons. Grumio now is in that position. Oh, Che nearly losing the back end there, the tyres slipping away at the lap 10 mark. This could pose for a very tactical battle between these three, probably trading positions. But looking a bit further down the rest of the grid, we've seen Fan behind Dan here through this sector. It's not the best place to follow, as you can see him missing the apex there. Interesting between the Williams and the McLarens.
Definitely, and it's a fast lap of the race there. There's Williams, McLaren off that last corner in the race for P9. Those guys falling away from Slab Hunter in 8th, who's trying to keep up to Lycon in the 7th spot. We'll see what Fan goes for this time when they come through towards... Oh, they're going way wide there out of turn 1. Rejoins. Perhaps a 10th or 2 in front. Meant to get that back if he's unlucky. And Fan be closing in. Yellow flag, and that is JB around at turn number 4. Sorry. Unfortunate for the Alpha Tower. He gets himself away. Good thing that they've still got points on the board right now with Prodol running in that 4th spot and having the race himself right now. And there goes Lycon to the outside of Ethan, looking for P6 on the run towards the turn number 6. And into the braking zone they come. Ethan still alongside, but the outside lane looks to have the edge. And that'll be the inside for this right-hander. And on the exit, Ethan tries to switch back, but can't get close enough. Lycon now into P6.
Yeah, lovely move there by the Haas. Lycon having a fantastic race so far. Sadly, Ethan is just unable to keep that race pace going. He's been dropping positions a little bit after a fantastic qualifying. I do have to say he was a spectacular lap, but he's still keeping there with Lycon, and we see Sniper close up a little bit extra. We see Fan at position as the 2 Williams now pass both McLarens. Well, this will be a very interesting battle. I'm not quite sure what happened with these guys, but now going through turns 13 and 14, Fan looking to the inside of Dan, going into 14 now. And now on the exit, look at that, he's right on the back of him, and Alvar getting away at a rate of knots here over the cars behind him, and now allowing Mr. TJ to catch up in the Alpine as they come off the last corner and begin lap number 12 of this Grand Prix. And Fan is no doubt getting very frustrated looking at the back of that Williams machine as they come through turn 1. Dan, oh, poor exit for the Williams, and McLaren might look to take advantage. Nope, Dan defends just about enough in order for Fan to stay behind him, but he's still there. Look at him, practically pushing him through turn 4 as they run towards 5. He's got a look on the outside going into the braking zone. He brakes late. Oh, that was BJ up the inside out of nowhere. These should have gone at it. That was cheeky from BJ there. And going towards the DRS zone, we'll see which one comes out on top. Who's going to fight Dan for position? There goes TJ trying to take advantage of all of them here. Stonking battle there, and Dan has been a Minister of Defence here for the United Kingdom. Wow. How he's been keeping these guys behind on 10-lap-old mediums around Abu Dhabi is beyond me, but he's doing a fantastic job, and a little sneaky move on his own teammate, which has really hindered Fan actually. So the McLaren garage is not a place I want to be after this race. BJ to the inside of Dan, taking away P10, but might lose it here. But no, Dan going wide himself as well. So TJ now works trying to take advantage. As of right now, only 1 point for McLaren, crucially. This could spell the end of their Constructors' Championship dreams, with both the Aston Martins up in P2 and P4 as Lemons leads by half second over Grumio, and Che there in third. Not quite catching up. He's keeping with them, but he's not closing that gap. And that's what he needs to do right now in order to get himself some more championship points. Yeah, Landlord making a move on that previous lap on Prolol, sending it up the inside into turn 6. Nice little move. Oh, yellow flag. Oh, we have a spin by Dan. Oh, no. Oh, the exit of the final corner, it looked like, if I'm not mistaken. Has he got any damage?
I don't think he has.
Doesn't look like it, so should be okay to carry on, but I think it's those tyres just wearing off a little there. Definitely, of course, he's one of the few drivers who started. Of course, the medium runners, majority of them stopped by now. Dan, Sniper, and Lycon, only medium starters yet to stop in this race. Of course, the hard tyres runners can go for a bit longer into this thing. We'll see. I'm thinking perhaps these hard tyre runners take them as long as they can and go on a set of softs to the end. So that could make this race a bit more interesting in that respect, having everyone on soft tyres up front looking at the finish. So we'll see how this plays out. Behind them, behind Lemons right now, Grumio just 3.5 tenths back, make that 4 as they come around looking for the right-hander of turn number 12. Into the corner they come. Grumio staying close. Che is still about 6-7 tenths back as it stands. As I say, Pope can't quite close that gap. Yellow flag once again. That's Ericsson and Websy have been involved in some kind of altercation. Both cars spin it. Oh, that was very close for Dan. It almost got a piece of the Ferrari stuck to him. But 2 cars around, but recovered it without too much problem. Yeah, I didn't see what happened between them two, but both went off at the same time. Turn 9 is becoming a struggle for, I think, some of these drivers. But as we go back onto Che and the Grumio situation, I think Che's just taking his time. He knows what he needs to do and just monitor the race. After all, he wants them to start battling, waste their tyres, and he can then pounce when he's ready to. I think Che's in a very good position. I personally prefer P3 than P1 in this race.
I prefer P2 to be honest, because I feel like a sitting duck in P1 right now. To the championship runners just behind me, I can't imagine that being very pleasant. I feel like Perez in Abu Dhabi 2021, so that'd be what would be the nicest feelings, considering that these cars are on equal performance. And Aston Martin and Mercedes giving chase. JB sets the fastest lap of the race here. 1 minute 26.4. So that'll take the extra point away from Grumio. The championship gap now down to 64 points. So it's looking a little bit closer as of right now. Still not enough for Grumio to take the title.
No, at this rate, I think it might even go down to next week for the title to be officially decided. But what I'm looking at is the gap between Landlord and Chafin. That's something that we will have to start monitoring. Is it extending? Is it getting slower? That's a real insight of what strategy that Grumio will go with. If he's got the support of the other Aston Martin, which the other two drivers don't have the support of their teammates, it would leave favour to
yellow flag. So it's cut you off there. Occurred to spin there. In the same way as it last time.
Again.
Right.
Yeah,
the car apologies, carry on.
Like in qualifying. Yeah, like in qualifying, he's really not connected with that car, which is a shame. Looking quite up for the Alpine team with a fantastic driver pair, just sadly not getting the car under their belt, and he's struggling even there through turn 9 now. Snipers around.
Oh no! Mercedes recovers the car. No damage on the car, so it looks like it's okay, but he's lost a couple of places as a result. Alvar and the two McLarens have come through, so Sniper out the points here, but still in chance of closing back in. But he's going to have a threat from Mr. TJ behind him as they go towards turn number 6. We'll see how much the Alpine closes on the run towards the corner. Doesn't know he's going to gain too much because Sniper's got the DRS on himself too. Shorts for late break to the inside. I dare say that Sniper's safe in P11.
Yeah, I think this is now where I think Lycon and Sniper will probably be thinking about pitting. I think the tyres are just losing their edge a little bit, but someone who is completely shocked me and would take provisional P1 once all the pit stops are done is Alvar. Alvar could be leading this race when everyone has made their first pit stop. This could provide for an incredible last few laps.
Of course, those soft tyres, I assume that we're getting bolted onto the leaders won't be helping his case too much, but of course it'd be fantastic to see perhaps a different winner from the usual suspects this season. Prolov, the last corner, chasing Landlord in the race for P4, trying to get that back, but not close enough just yet. He's still about 3 or 4 tenths back, and it's half a second between Grumio and Levens.
Ericsson getting close with Dan through turn 15, lets off a little bit. Dan going wide. His tyres also looking like they need to be swapped off that, and Dan goes to the inside. Is Ericsson? Yeah, Dan's gonna let him past. No need to be fighting that. Ericsson's got far more pace on those hards, and that's good respectful driving between the pair of them.
Definitely no point fighting something that you're almost always going to lose in that situation. Of course, no disrespect to Alfred Daniels' driver, but he hasn't had the best of race so far. The tyres haven't really been his friends at this point. Obviously, they're not getting any younger, let's face it, in that respect. In terms of the battle for the lead, I'll stop slandering Dan for the moment. And Grumio still giving chase, and Oliver not closing it up. I mean, he is closing, but it's not enough. If he wants to go for a move, is he going to give it a wait until the very last second to try and swipe P2 or maybe even P1 away?
I would say so, from who I know is Jay, being his teammate for the season. He's very smart. He's always thinking a couple laps ahead. And it's something that when I was in the peak in season 11 winning the title, that's what I used to do. I knew exactly when I'd be able to pit. We're close to losing the car just a little bit there. I think right now it is a strategy.
Just again there.
It's so hard to overtake around this track. So I feel like whenever these drivers make their pit stop, that is what will show us how the driver's going to finish the race, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that should make enough sense. I get it. Lycon, Ethan and Sniper all into the pit lane here. Medium tyres onto the Red Bull, mediums onto the Haas, and you guessed it, mediums onto the Mercedes as well. So all three of them pitting for those yellow walled tyres on the exit of the pit lane here. Of course, they've made their compulsory pit stops to the race, and all they've got to do now is run those to the end of the looks things. And go about 13 laps on those. And now, in terms of medium tyres, Dan the only car yet to pit. He's just had Ethan come out in front of him there, like just in front. So in the race for P14 now. Snipe Hunter making his way out in P16. So he's got a bit of work to do in order to get himself back up the order. But yet see a number of cars coming to pits towards the end.
Yeah, lovely battle here between Prolol and Landlord. Prolol making a move into turn 6 and 7 in that chicane, and then Landlord just swiping it back. Low ERS there for Prolol, and Alvar's sliding through turn 9. That's what he's doing, losing a little bit of time to the leaders while BJ's catching up to him.
We'll see if the McLarens can gain any more points from the race today. It'll be crucial to their situation that they do. And now coming to the last couple of corners, we're seeing 2 cars in the pit here. Grimio stays out, both Lemons and Che coming in. Well, strategy change here, coming a bit earlier than I might have expected. It's been medium tyres of both cars by the looks of things. Oh, sorry. Yep, mediums on both, so Grimio is going to stay a bit longer here. Maybe try and manage those for a set of softs at the end. Could there be a difference in strategy between the 3 leaders?
Yeah, I feel personally you never really want to hit the same lap as your rival. That's not the best thing to do. But what Grumio has in his advantage now.
Oh, sorry, I cut you off there. TJ spinning there, going towards turn number 5, recovers it without too much problem, and now Lemons will get through. And hopefully Che will manage to get around him as well. Just going to try and keep with Lemons, who's definitely got away out of the pits. TJ spinning there, down to P7. Sorry, hope carry on.
No, yeah, I'm just saying about how having that second driver can be so valuable. If in doubt, Landlord can keep these 2 drivers behind because he has the skill to do it. He's a past champion here in RDL. So Grumio's probably got a bit of a smile on his face unless he pits this lap.
We'll see what the plan is for the Aston Martin race leader as they come through. But of course both Astons need to pit, and as I said earlier, that will put Alvar into a net first place as they come through the last couple of corners, or Grimio comes through the last couple of corners. So 7 seconds over his teammate. What is the plan for the championship leader? It looks like he's coming in. Yes, he is coming in. It's the yellow flag, sector 3, and that's TJ around again at the exit of turn 9. It looks like he's picked up damage. He's lost his end plate. He's practically pushing it off the corner.
Yeah, when the tyres spin once, the tyre temps are high, it's not something you don't want to be pushing full pace again, and I feel like that's what TJ's done, and it's not a great day to be driving a blue and pink car, I do have to say.
Here come the 2 leaders then, Lemons and Che, about to fight Grimmy on the exit. Could these guys come out in front? They have come out in front, I dare say. Coming through. He'll have a lap. It means to be a lap fresher, but he's come out behind both these 2 cars now. Lemons in, as it stands up in a net first place after Alvar may pit. Of course, actually probably won't pit going towards the end of this one. Of course, it'll be around 23 laps he has done on those hard tyres to kind of get to the end, and BJ and Fandom can stay out there as well. So these guys will be chasing the top 3. We'll wait for Landlord to pit, and then the race will truly be on.
Oh, definitely. I mean, as we know in this generation of cars and how the tyres warm up, it is always better to pit a little bit earlier than your rivals. It means you can drive faster and warm up your tyres. So even though that his tyres are fresher, he's losing time on them. He's already out the DRS zone now of the 2 drivers. So if Lemons and Che are smart about it, could extend that and build a DRS train between the 2 of them, and then Grumio will be falling behind.
We've seen falling behind already. They got back to 1.2 seconds. What you said there about pitting a few laps earlier than your rivals, I've done that several times in career mode and it hasn't quite worked out. So I'm not sure if it's just an online thing or whether or not I'm just a bit poor at the game. But regardless, Landlord into the pit lane here, and we're coming through to see what will be the final compulsory stop of this race. Fan off the last corner.
Spinning. Oh, what a shame for Fan. He was doing so well, and oh yeah, that is just unlucky. But then it now leaves only 2 cars for Lemons to pass to maybe get a second win in his RDL career. This could be fantastic for him. Well, of
course, he's got a charging tail over there, and even faster Grimio back there in P5. They're trying to play a game of keep away right now, but it's not working. It looks like he's trying to sneak into DRS range. He's not done just yet, but he'll try and pull away a bit more now. Grimio, no DRS, using the little slivers of his battery is try and chase these guys down. It had to be done the majority of the track that is in DRS, so towards turn 6 and turn 9, those straights are practically off limits unless there's some kind of mistake. 1.3 seconds the gap between Che and Grimio. As of right now, Oliver can gain 5 more points to bring the championship within 2 race wins, and that'll make Grimio's job a little bit more difficult, or a little less easy in this respect, because of course he is still a few races clear of the title as it stands. And BJ 1.3 seconds back from Alvar. We could see a race for the lead here on these 2 hard tyre rounds before the leaders catch up.
Yeah, Prolol and Ericsson have a lovely little ding-dong there. Prolol spinning away on the straight between turn 5 and turn 6 and gaining from Ericsson, who looks to be really comfortable, but I think his tyres are now starting to meet their ends, which could start to speak bad news to those in P1 and P2 currently.
Definitely, we'll see if we can get a little race for the lead out of them before anything like that happens. I hope that it doesn't, because that gives us a nice little chase here as well. Ericsson gets a time penalty, 3 seconds. That's the first track limits penalty we've seen all night. And of course, Landon served the 5-second penalty earlier on in the pit lane, going onto the medium tyre. So he's all okay in that aspect and can now chase to the end and try and get himself back inside those points-paying positions as we reach the final 10 laps of this Grand Prix. It's still very close. Grimio now within DRS range on Che, but of course, if there's anything like the first stint, then I dare say he could be stuck there.
Yeah, really hard to overtake, but people who aren't finding it hard to overtake is the battle between P7 and P11. Everyone's so close, and Ethan's going to make a move down one of the Ferraris with Websy.
He's going for 2 of the Ferraris.
Trying to make a move on Cardi.
3 abreast into the corner.
What a move.
He's close. He's made it stick.
Wow, what a move, Ethan. Well done. That was fantastic. And Cottony, like in Mexico, being overtaken a couple of times and falling behind many people, but keeping Prolol at bay. No, Prolol down the inside of Cottony. I spoke too soon.
Still take about Ethan there, who may have just come alive on lap 21 of this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and there's still a bit of time to go. Could he still catch Fan towards the end, behind, up front? Oliver is really pressurising Lemons here, and Grumio's joined the fight as well. And up front, less than a second between BJ and Alvar in the race for P1, so this could get very, very spicy indeed. Pope is a top 5 race for the win.
Yeah, 7 laps remaining, and I feel like the gloves are now off most of these drivers. This is where it matters. This is where track position matters. But Che needs to make a move sooner rather than later. You don't want DRS from Lemons on BJ. That is the one thing you do not want in this situation.
Definitely not, because that'll bring everyone closer together. BJ has DRS and Alvar though, so he's closing that gap. In terms of when these guys catch up, do you think Che tries to go for the win?
I think Che has to go for the win. I feel like any person in that situation will want to go for the win. But at the same time, you've got your driver behind you. Is it really worth risking an entire race? Because after all, if Che doesn't score, then it's not great.
Look at him though, pressurising all the way. Yellow flag, and that is Websy who's gone around. A bit of debris on the exit as well. Oh, no safety car though. Looks like everyone's okay.
Close.
All clear here as Websy recovers the car, gets himself going again. Back with these guys here. You saw how close that Che was to Lemons going through turn 9. There was literally a tenth separating them. And speaking of tenths being separated, only 6 of them separate Alvar and BJ. So he hasn't gained too much. Has BJ's come off the last couple of corners here towards the lines. We begin at number 23 of this race. Just 7 more laps to go. This race has flown by after those safety cars. And we've got what could be a 5-car race for the winner. And I'm only hoping there won't be an anticlimax. This could be one of the best finishes of the season. Should it play out?
I have to agree with you there. That would be amazing. And Alvar leading the way. Maybe the pressure's getting a little bit to him, though he is gaining on BJ. BJ, who is a race winner here in the RDL. Alvar looking quite confident, low on battery, but that is not phasing him. And
Lemons looking quite menacing behind though. The top 3 of the old top 3 are now all moved into DRS range of each other. So we've got a 5-car DRS train. 10 seconds back to Fan, who's now being challenged by Ethan, who's within that 1 second gap himself. So this could get very, very tasty here. And Che will start looking around, but now that BJ's holding up Lemons as they run towards the corner. And Alvar almost a second clear of these guys, trying to pull away from DRS range. And here comes Che looking to try to make a move. He's going to go to the inside, 3 abreast into turn 9. Surely someone's got to give. There's no go around. Goes Lemons. There goes the Red Bull off the circuit in turn 9. Che into second place now. Grumio down in 4th. And Lemons spins the car, recovers it without too much trouble. But I dare say his chance of winning the race are over, Pope.
Yeah, it's a shame for Lemons, who was driving fantastically. I didn't quite see what just happened there, but a shame to see him spin out. But now it is all Che. This is the dream situation that he wanted. He wanted to be fighting for this win, and he looks menacing compared to that Williams up ahead.
But he's got to play it safe as well. He knows what is at stake here. If he makes a mistake and perhaps crashes the car, he not only loses the race, but perhaps loses the championship as well, because that will leave Grumio to make light work of these 2 cars on hard tyres. Che now giving chase on our race leader Alvar, who who's probably enjoyed this honeymoon period at the front, but maybe about to come to an end here. Grumio looking to the inside of BJ into turn 5. Che around the outside, moves into the race lead, and Grumio into 3rd place. And so now Che is going to pray that Alvar can keep the Aston Martin behind.
Yeah, this is what Dan was doing for Alvar, but the other way around.
Alvar coming to the inside here. Sorry, let's cut you off here, Pope. Alvar to the inside into turn number 6. It's very close to the pair of them. Grumio goes a bit wide here, and now switching back and try and take the Williams on the exit. We'll get DRS as a brilliant exit as well. Might try and take Che here. This could be the race lead for our championship leaders. BJ goes through for 3rd. Chasing towards the left-hander at turn 9. Grumio looking around, trying to find an opening. He's on the outside, going in. It's going to be very tight. I think Che's got it. The 2 championship contenders now dueling for P1 in the closing laps in Abu Dhabi.
This is fantastic racing by 4 of the drivers. Some on old tyres, some on new tyres. They are all keeping it fantastically tight.
It's what we enjoy seeing here in the Racers Driving League. It's set up to be an absolutely grandstand finish as they come to the last couple of corners. Just 5 more laps to go in this thing. Can Che hold on to it? His championship perhaps rests here because it'll make his job a little bit easier. And here comes Grumio looking to try and challenge. Now, will Grumio be able to pull away, do you think, Pope? Or if he gets past, can Che stay with him?
I don't think there's any pulling away in this situation now. I feel like as soon as you're that close under DRS, I feel like that is it. You're going to be stuck in that. But as we've seen with the drivers from 6 below, they're all on a train. Even Ethan's not been able to pull away from the 19-lap hold hard tyres of Fan. He
managed to get around Fan. That's a hugely helpful yellow flag for the back, and that is the AlphaTauri of JB who's gone around in turn 15. Grumio looking to try and find the exit on the switchback like he did against Alvar a lap ago. He's a lot closer this time, but Che's got a lot more ERS bank, and that could help him massively here. Yellow flag once again, and that is, I believe that is, one of the Alpines on the way into the pit lane here. Maybe have some kind of problem, and I believe that is Mr. TJ. But regardless, we carry on up front here because it's getting very, very interesting. I don't believe that Grumio's got enough to get around Che here. I could be wrong. I think back to Italy earlier on this season. Grumio gets a bit loose there at turn 12 and recovers it but loses a tenth or two. I think that's the final lap in Monza. The 2 made contact going into Ascari, and winner of that race the race went to Grumio. A C110P fan spun it again on the exit at turn 9. Now down to P10. That could be P11 because now the pressure's on. Here comes Sniper Hunter looking to try and snatch another point.
Yeah, Sniper Hunter's eyes are going to be lighting up at that, just like Fans Tyres did just then. Sniper wants to make sure he gets another point under his belt and another point for Mercedes.
Crucially, of course, that Constructors' Championship long gone for them, I dare say, with Aston Martin pulling off into the distance, and this is definitely helping their case here. But Mercedes trying to score the full 25 or 26 as they can. And I believe the fastest lap is still in JB's possession as it stands. No, it's with Che right now, so 26 points. That'll bring the championship gap down to 38 if my maths are correct at this time. And then Alvar still trying to close in on BJ, trying to make moves. Yellow flag. That is TJ who's gone off at turn 12. Had to wait for the AlphaTauri JB to go through to recover the car. Not a good race for Alpine or Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, both of them sitting at the bottom of the table right now in terms of this race. But someone who's not sitting at the bottom of the table is Grumio, who is closed up once again on Che. But as we were saying, Che's got that ERS in his bank. Will he be able to defend using it?
Grumio's saved a bit more now. He's got about a quarter of his tank left. But Che's got almost double that at this stage. So he's just trying to race up as much as he can. Perhaps building up to a final lap assault. And JB retired from the session. He may have crashed going into turn number 4. And I doubt there'll be a late safety car. I think it's a bit too late for that now. These guys have gotten away from the 3rd and 4th place cars of BJ and Alvar, who are fighting for that last podium place. As of right now, Alvar will get it, but don't look now, because here comes Lemons chasing them for P3 in this race. This could go anyone's way in terms of the podium, Pope.
Lemons has done a fantastic recovery from that spin, but TJ just getting out of the way for him there. But Lemons looking likely to overtake Alvar due to the tyre difference, but will he be able to get past BJ? Fan also struggling once again, spinning in the final corner there. But
let's cut you off here. He's going to the outside. Looking into turn number 6. Sorry to cut you off, Pope. Once again, he's going to have the inside now for the next corner. It's going to be very tight between the pair of them. There's almost contact as Che comes to the corner with the lead, but Grumio's going to have DRS on him, but he's falling away here, so he has to wait to get another run. Che narrowly holds on to the lead, but is very close to losing it there, Pope.
Yeah, fantastic there with Grumio going round the outside, but as we've seen, Jay just get a fantastic exit out of turn 7 every time. It was like Grumio on the exit of the final corner at Mexico, but Jay really getting the traction on that car, done well. And we see Lycon and Ethan trading positions here on the outside of turn 9.
Lemons gets Alvar for 4th as well. These drivers lighting up the circuit here at Yas Marina as they come round. Just 2 more laps to go in what has been an enthralling Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. One of the best fights to lead we've seen all season. It's been insanely clean as well. And as Lemons will now try and take away 3rd place on track from BJ. He's got it in the bag more or less because Alvar's going to fall back. But I see TJ back there running in P17. 4/10 the gap between the 2 leaders right now. It's very close.
BJ losing all traction out the exit of turn 1 there, making Lemons slam on the brakes because I don't think he was even expecting that, and that puts Lemons in a great position to make a move down into turn 6. But Grumio gaining on Che, but then he loses it in that last little third. He doesn't gain quite enough.
It's very tight to his two right now. Lemon taking away P3, so that's the podium more or less sorted out. Prolo out of the race here at the exit of turn number 5 and going down the back straight. There goes Grumio all the way up to the outside. He's got a run on the Mercedes. They're going to be side by side in the run towards turn 9. This is the closest thing. Grumio takes the lead for the moment on the inside in the braking zone. It's very, very tense. They're side by side. Who gets the better drive off? He said Che was very good out of turn 9. Needs to be here. Good exit. It's almost contact. And Grumio goes wide but takes the lead away. There goes Che inside again. Oh, they come in contact. He saved it, and that could have been everything over for Che, who goes around the outside at turn 14. He's still going at it, and I think Che has to see it here, but he's still going for it. He's still valiantly fighting Grumio around the outside.
Now coming on to the final lap, we cannot take our eyes off this battle. That was incredibly close racing contact, but both cars keeping it on a straight line. And turn 1, let's see what Che can do.
Oh, Che goes wide. This could be it.
He needs to stay close for this DRS zone, but it's looking unlikely now.
It's all going to come down to what happens on the run towards turn 9. Through 5 they come. Che's going to need to use everything he's got now in order to try and close in. It's going to be very, very tense. These two came to blows once again, as they have a few times this season. And Che closing, but fans, Grumio's to defend the inside. There he goes, Che looking underneath, going into turn number 6. They come close to contact into the detection zone. I think Grumio's trying to take DRS. They go side by side. Will Che lift? Grumio has DRS this time. He's on the outside. I dare say it looks like Grumio's got this one. If I dare say so myself, Pope, but it's still close between them. It's going side by side towards turn 9 once again. Oliver will not cede. Grumio just about gets in front, and I dare say it's the end of the matter, Pope, because Grumio is clear and he is pulling away to what looks to be his 7th win of the season.
I have to agree with you there. It's so hard to overtake in this final sector, but never say never with Che Oliver and Grumio as they come through turn 14. And it is unlooking likely. It's near impossible now, unless Grumio bins it, which he does not through these final corners. And Grumio comes across the line to take P1 with Che P2. What a battle between them two in the final laps.
And Lemons comes home for 3rd. This enthralling championship battle may have just had another twist in the tails. Alvar retires on the line in P5 there. Did he make it over? He didn't make it over.
I don't think he did. No.
No. And at the end of the race there, Alvar.
Such a shame.
Alvar, who drove a fantastic race there, has had it all thrown away at the last possible second there. Drama in Abu Dhabi. And obviously, there'll be words. Lemons in the Discord server saying can't help but feel robbed there. Finished in 3rd place, but that instant around lap 23 is something that the stewards have to look into because, wow. I mean, I have no words to the incident. I'm not going to say anything because we have to be impartial here. So, but that incident obviously was a tense one as Fan snatches the fastest lap away. So one less point for Che, if I'm being honest. So that won't help him at all. Grumio then brings the gap to 61 points in the Drivers' Championship and is a step closer to taking his record 6th Racers Driving League Championship.
Yeah, that is crazy there by Grumio. I'm completely left speechless by the Alvar incident. The man who was leading a race at one point, DNFing on the line. Such a shame for him, but I do have to for me personally, Lemons drove fantastically after that spin, and even though he feels robbed, he should be proud of that result.
Oh, okay, I'm seeing here, Alvar got a puncture mid-last corner and spun out, so it wasn't a celebratory thing. The tyres just couldn't hold themselves in the end and loses it. So what could have been P4 becomes a DNF. So Grumio then wins once again here in Abu Dhabi. Another fantastic victory in Yas Marina, but that was a very, very tense battle with the two drivers surrounding him on the podium there. And we'll have to talk to Che and Lemons just as to what went down during this one. I think we'll have to keep them one at a time to keep them from killing each other in the commentary box. I'd rather witness a massacre in here. But the celebrations begin then, and Grumio and Aston Martin a step closer to snatching both championships. So without further ado, have a look there at your final results for this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Grumio wins the race by 4/10 over Oliver after a fantastic battle that lasted all the way to the end of the race. Lemons home in 3rd, BJ in 4th, Ethan 5th, Landlord in 6th, Lycon takes 7th, Sniper Hunter takes 8th in the end, Ericsson 9th, and Websy rounds at your top 10. Fan gets 11th but sets the fastest lap. Dan in 12th, decent race for him. Of course, went up for a bit and then fell down towards the end. Collie Goblin 13th, Curtis in 14th, Alvar, TJ fishing 1 lap down, Prolol 2 laps down, and JB, Huggy, and PJ Khaled all failing to finish this race. Of course, JB retired towards the end. Right, so we have to get some post-race interviews. Popo, give me your thoughts on this race while I get things set up.
I think it was fantastic for an Abu Dhabi Grand Prix where normally you don't see much overtaking. These drivers once again showed why they are so good. Overtakes galore, and it makes it a privilege to be commentating once again with you, and hopefully everyone at home enjoyed that race just as much as we did here.
Yeah, I mean, this is the pitch people. I get to do this pretty much every week. So Monday nights are never dull in the races driving. I'll say that for you right now. So we'll have to get we able to get people invited to the commentary box for interviews. How are we gonna get that to work?
I think it's just at them in the chats, and we should be able to just get them popping in.
Okay, not a problem then.
Just tell them to mute.
Okay, right. Okay, so I'll get all 3 of them to come through if I can. I just mute myself quick while I type.
Yeah, I just want to say, Grumio once again showing why he's won so many titles here in RDL. I think Che now has to really just put in so much practice, more than he normally does, to make sure at least he comes away with a win in the next race. But it might all be gone now, sadly for him. Is the next race China, if I'm correct?
I'll have a look here in the steward's report. Just quickly, bear with me a moment. It's either Portugal or China. I believe it is Portugal. Yes, it's Portugal next week.
Portugal first. So Portugal, track full of elevation, very hard track, especially on traction. And for the past 2 races, we're gonna probably see quite a few more spins. But I love Portugal. I think it's a really challenging track, but I'm not too sure who would put my money on for that. We barely ever race around Portugal, so I'm going to ask you, Zach, who do you think will come out with a win there?
Honestly, I say it could go anyone's way. I mean, Portugal, we don't normally race there in RDL. So, I mean, we haven't raced since F1 2021, which was almost a year ago at this stage. So, anyone's guess who comes out on top. We've got Lemons there in the chat. We'll see if we can get anyone else to show up as well. So, we'll keep an eye on that for the time being. Lemons finishing 3rd in the race. Or solid drive towards the end, so we'll see what he's got to say on that in a few moments' time. We'll see if we can get Che and Grumio in, because the battle and the closing laps was fantastic, wasn't it, Pope?
Yeah, just crazy little battle. And though there's a bit of contact, they, like I said, they kept the car going forward, and I think that's the main thing for them.
Alright, okay. Well, in the meantime, since we've got Lemons here, we might as well we'll get a few questions in with him. Lemons, if you want to unmute yourself there, mate. I'll just test, make sure you hear us all okay. You there with us?
Hello, mate.
There we are. Right then, 3rd place on the day. Of course, frustrating, I can imagine, what happened towards the end there. Do you want to talk about the race for us? What went down?
I felt like my race pace was way further ahead than what it usually is. This is one of my worst tracks, so I was surprised to be leading for half of it. But yeah, it's just unfortunate what happened at the end. I think. Well, BJ said in the chat that he knew that there was 2 cars on his left, but I don't think he quite left enough room. I haven't watched it back yet. But yeah, I just got sandwiched in between. I don't know if you saw it on stream, so I don't know what your opinions are, but yeah, it just felt like I got sandwiched, and my front right hit his rear left. So yeah, just unfortunate. And I was gaining at the end as well because Blaze and Che were battling quite a lot. So I felt like I was definitely on for the win. So it's just a bit annoying.
Do you reckon if, obviously you were close at a rate of knots there towards the end of the race, do you reckon if you'd given about 2 or 3 more laps you could have caught them and passed them perhaps?
I think I would have needed more than 2 or 3, but yeah, it was definitely possible. I don't know where that pace came from. I expected to be easily in 3rd place anyway, but it turns out that 3rd place was sort of not where I wanted to finish at the end, so...
Yeah, that's fair enough. In terms of the strategy, we had 2 safety cars here in the opening laps. Did that have any change to your strategy at all, or did you was the plan always stay the same?
I was hoping. I worked out in my head that if there was one sort of lap 11, lap 12, then I'd definitely box. But any earlier than that, it just really wasn't worth it. Like I didn't really fancy going onto a 2-stop. It's just too risky. So yeah, it worked out in the end. If there was a later safety car as well, I think that also would have worked. So the strategy just didn't really need to change that much with those safety cars.
Fair enough. And one last question for you, of course, going into next 2 weeks before the finale in Brazil, got Portugal and China coming up. I know we don't race those tracks often in the RD. I know you've raced them a few times in the Takeover League, but are you looking forward to those 2 tracks in particular?
What did you say they were? China and Brazil?
China and Portugal, or Portugal and China next 2 rounds, and Brazil the final.
I do like Portugal. Sometimes my race pace is just a bit off there. I don't know why. It just depends on the day. I've had really poor races there, but it's one of my favourite tracks to drive. And the other one, China, I don't like China, I'll be honest. So it could go either way. I don't like Abu Dhabi, to be fair, and today I felt brilliant. So, anything can happen.
Well, hopefully for your sake that things go well for you next couple of weeks. So thank you for joining us here. Obviously, commiserations for the towards the end of the race, but still a fantastic podium. I think you should be proud of that.
Cheers, mate.
So hopefully we'll see you next week.
See you later, mate.
Okay, right. And then we've also got normally we don't normally do trials off the podium in terms of interviews, but we got a commentary box in the server this week, so we're gonna open things up, and we've got Sniper Hunter in. So we got Pope's replacement coming in. Mate, you've had a wild start to your full-time career.
It was a bit ropey. I felt good like the other week when I done this track, but I was at 6 tenths off my best in this quali session, and I had a horrible race start as well, going from P14 to P20.
I mean, things sort of turn up towards the end of the Grand Prix. Another good set of points there to go with the ones you scored in Mexico. Can you keep these points up to the end of the season, you think?
I should be able to, but if I keep getting P9s, I won't be happy, especially when I've got enough pace for top 5.
Fair enough. I mean, of course, those guys are obviously quite quick, so it'd be good on you to try to close the gap to them. It would be great to see more cars up there at the front. In terms of, I asked Lemons a moment ago about the safety cars early on. Did that have any change to your strategy at all?
I was expecting safety cars, but I started on the hards expecting to go for 1 set of mediums, but I went for 2 stops on the mediums instead. Not much to lose, so might as well send it.
I mean, yeah, you made it work in the end, and of course brought home the points. And last question for you: in terms of the next couple of races, of course, tracks we don't really visit regularly in this league, Portugal and China. What are we thinking of those 2 races?
I'm terrible at Portugal, and I haven't even driven China on this year yet.
Fair. That's
Love your confidence there, Sniper.
Yeah, so be a free for me.
I do actually have a question for you, Sniper.
Oh, go ahead, yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, it's quite hard to fill the stature of a certain Touch Me Pope in that Mercedes.
There we go.
How are you finding it at Mercedes? Is all the posters of me still up around the HQ? And do you expect to be on the podium anytime soon?
Well, I go into every race thinking I can't match Pope's shadow, he's just too good. But I feel like I've got less pressure on us recently, especially with having a seat now. But when I was a reserve, I always felt pressure to perform well.
Lovely stuff. Honestly, mate, you've done very well at adapting to that full-time role, so I'm very happy for you.
I mean, you've been as good so far as Pope has been over the whole season, so I'd say you're on course to match him quite quickly,
Cheers,
if I do say so myself.
Yeah, but that Pope guy isn't very good.
Alright, Snappy.
Okay, alright, guys.
Snappy, you got anything more to say, mate, before we let you go?
I'll try not to do a 360 next race. Have a nice night.
Sounds good. Alright, well, hopefully we'll see you soon. Alright then, so that was a very amusing interview there with Sniper Hunter, who comes home in the points once again. Pope, you seem to enjoy he seems to be pleased with your replacement.
Yeah, no, he's doing a good job. Obviously, like I say, will he be season 11 champion? No. But it's okay, it's fine. He may be season... What season are we on next? 15? Season 15 next? He might be season 15 champion, you never know.
I can't see
So,
you anytime soon,
honestly-
if I'm being honest. I think you're past your prime, mate.
You never know, you never know.
That's for us.
You can never say never, but... Nah, Sniper's doing well, and I wish him all the best. He's done very well at adapting to racing week in, week out. It's a different type of pressure that you have when you're knowing that you will be racing.
Definitely. And then, of course, we'll cap the stream off here, but I do want to ask you one final question. 61 points now, by my count, the gap in the championship. Is it over, do you think?
Realistically, yes. I feel you got 3 races left. 66 is near impossible unless Grumio retires for a race and Jay wins. That's the only real way to do it, but now you've got Lemons competing. And Sniper feels like he's got a pace for top 5, so you never know if he could be competing for podiums. I feel like this is going to be a lot harder for Che, and that really goes down to him not being able to make it for a few races, but yeah, the championship is over.
We'll see what happens next week. Could Grumio claim the title? You have to tune us next week to find out. On the 29th of May, the Portuguese Grand Prix from the Portimao circuit, a rare RDL visit to the Portuguese Grand Prix. So make sure to join us then, and make sure to subscribe to the channel for future streams to close out the season and any shorts made from this race throughout the week, because there have been some quite fantastic battles that I think need to be immortalised for the rest of the time in these cases. So thank you guys for watching. It's been Zach RC and Pope bringing you all the action of round 21 of the season, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We're back with us next week. So from me, it's goodbye. From Pope, I'm also assuming it is goodbye, and we shall see you next week.
It is goodbye.
Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you then. Goodbye.